Hey guys, for last couple of episodes, we are using the GUI and not using the keyboard shortcuts. However, we have crossed multiple episodes and I think by now on you are ready to use the keyboard shortcuts. For a designer, these keyboard shortcuts are very much time saving, and one thing I would like to emphasize here, which keyboard key is used for the shortcut. It's very simple. Generally what you are doing, right? Usually the initial letter is there. There are little changes at some point, and here on the screen you can see that I have listed some of the frequently used keyboard shortcut. At left side we have the component or whatever action we are doing. I must write it as action, and right hand column I have keyboard shortcut. So first thing is that often we insert register, right? So the register will be inserted by the keyboard key once you hit R. And why it is showing smaller? Because you have hidden the key directly and you have not used any other keys. Similarly, for capacitor, we will hit the keyboard key C. Next comes the inductor. You can guess what will be. This is L. For voltage, that means once we want to insert any blank voltage source, later we can configure whether it is AC, DC or something else. For that, we will be using the keyboard key V. And you can see all of them are in small. That means you are hitting all these keys without touching any other key. Now comes the wiring. Wiring means when you are connecting wires, right? For that, you will be using the small w. That is, you are hitting the W key without touching any other key. For ground, we will be using G, and it's small g. That means we are not touching any other key of the keyboard. Next is select and move component. That means whenever we are selecting any components and changing its position or changing the name of a component, we can use this key. To move something, that means select and move, we use M. And you can see it is small m. That means from the keyboard, we will hit the M key without touching any other key. Now, deleting any wiring or any component, or we want to remove any other thing like ground. Say, what keyboard key we will be using? We will be using the delete key. Why I have to write? Because delete has a ASCII code which is non-printable. So if I hit delete, right, nothing will come here. So these are the shortcuts. So these are the component or action and the keyboard shortcut. For register, we will be using small r. Capacitor, we will be using small c. Inductor, we will be using L. Voltage, we will be using V. Wiring, we will be using W. For ground, we will be using G. For select and move, that means move is the main thing, right? M. We'll be using M, and delete any wiring or component, we'll be using the delete. So this delete comes with a scissor symbol like this. Please remember that. Here all these keyboard shortcuts we will be using further episode, that means this episode and the upcoming episodes. So you can assume that you are going in much more pro level of using the LTspice. However, in narration, I will be saying that I am hitting the R or hitting the C from the keyboard, so you can understand. You have to follow this. So we are done here. Now let's move on to the circuitry.